So we are going to do a full tutorial on GoHighLevel's chat AI bots. And what we're going to do is we're going to build one from complete scratch so you can see the entire process. I've also created a tool that's going to help you make the process completely easy, and it's absolutely free for everyone to use. More importantly, we're going to show you how the automations work, how to set up a live chat agent, and understanding the difference between all of this inside this video. So make sure you stay tuned until the end and don't miss any details, and we'll see you on the other side. All right, so a lot has changed in the entire process of how to create chat AI bots inside of HighLevel. So it's not that it's been more difficult, it's just a little bit different. And today what we're gonna do is we're gonna show you how to create one from scratch. I also developed a tool, a nice custom GTP that you all can use to make the process a little bit easier. And today we're gonna be showcasing it and showing it off to you guys. All my members inside my Skool community and in my VIP have already received it. You guys are gonna get it. And now we're gonna be able to all use it to make easy chatbots that we can leverage and use throughout whatever we need. So first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the screen and we're gonna go to our account. Inside of our account, as always, we have our left-hand side menu. On the left-hand side menu, we're going to go all the way down. We're going to go to settings. Inside of settings, there are a couple things here that I want to make sure you pay attention to. The first one is conversational AI. The next one is going to be voice AI. And then there's also now the knowledge bases, which usually tend to be a little bit below here, or we're going to see them as soon as we log in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit conversational AI, and inside of conversational AI, you now notice that we have these agents here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a complete new bot. But before we do that, I want to make sure you guys understand something about the knowledge bases. Knowledge bases are areas where the bot can grab information from to help answer or do its job. So the first thing that we're going to do is, instead of creating a bot, we're going to go over to our knowledge base, and I'm going to explain how these work and making sure you understand the best way to develop these. So I'm going to select on manage knowledge bases. Inside of knowledge bases, you see here. So on the right-hand side, I'm going to hit create a knowledge base, and what we're going to do here is we're going to name our knowledge base and give it a little bit of a description. All right. So for instance, I'm going to call this automated marketer. All right. And we're going to name it part 2 because I already have a part 1, or I'm just going to name it 2. Not to confuse anybody. There's not a different part to it because you're going to always put everything in one knowledge base. And I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. Right. So all I did was name it so far. I chose whatever name you want. And now you're going to notice that I have all this stuff up here. So I have a web crawler that's going to crawl websites. I have FAQs, which basically are going to be answers are commonly asked inside the bot that I'm creating. So for any business, 9 times out of 10, you have business questions that people need answers to or that are common. You're going to want to throw those in there. And eventually we're going to have tables where the bot can look at pricing, products, and a whole bunch of other things based on a table instead of a document, which is not here yet, but it's coming soon, and talking to the developers. And there's a lot of really, really cool things coming soon, like agentic models. And we're going to be covering that when it comes out. Now, the first thing we want to do is always crawl a website if you have one, because the website's always going to have the most up-to-date information as you see it. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to do the web crawler, and I'm going to hit add a source. When I add a source, I'm going to do the web crawler again, and it's going to ask me for the exact URL, and again, or paths inside my URL. Again, I tried this a million times. Best way to do it is exact URL. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my site. Inside my site, I'm going to come over here, and I'm just going to copy this site right in here. And then I'm going to drop it in the exact URL place right here, and it's going to extract the data. Now, it does take a few minutes to extract the data. While it's doing this, what I'm going to do is create some common FAQs that I know people ask. Now, again, I'm not going to waste a lot of time in this because this is pretty self-explanatory, but what you want to do is you go into your FAQ section, or you don't even have to, you just have to hit add source, click on FAQs, and you're going to type in your first question with the desired answer that you have. So the question, so for instance, I'll come over here. Hopefully I have some FAQs all the way down. I might not. So let's see. I might not, but I'll just say, who is Nuno Tavares? All right. Who is Nuno Tavares? Okay. And I'm going to grab just some information here. All right. Boom. Then drop it in here, hit save, boom, and I have my first question. This is what I'm talking about. I'm putting these as many questions as you want. Now, I'm going to give you an early tip really early on that took me forever to learn. Inside of HighLevel, there's a priority. When the bot is searching for answers, it will go to this FAQ first, followed by your prompt, and then the knowledge base. Okay. And talking to developers, they did it primarily that way because it kind of makes logical sense. If you have FAQs that are really relevant and important, the bot wants to check those FAQs first before giving answers. Then it's going to go to the prompt to search for things that it might have or it already has instructions to. Then it'll go to the knowledge base if we're asking to pull from the knowledge base, or more importantly, if there's other information that's out there. Now, I can go ahead and keep creating questions. The more questions you create, the better off you're going to be. And when also you're correcting your bot, You're going to also create FAQs, because when a person asks a certain question that the bot doesn't know the answer for and you actually see it, what you can do is you can add that exact question into your knowledge base, and your knowledge base will eventually grow over time. Now, the web crawlers, you can see I have a particular website. It's already been kind of like extracted. If I wanted to add another one at this time, you can. So what happens is I'm going to go in here and I'm now going to add a second document. Maybe it's a document about a product. Maybe it's a document about my sales process. It could be pretty much whatever document you want to be. Now, there's a little trick to this. What you're going to do is you're going to hit the plus sign, and you're going to go to, let's say, Google Docs. It only really works with Google Docs. So if you have like some kind of Microsoft stuff, it doesn't necessarily work well. So understand that even if you have a free account with Google, use the free account. It doesn't really matter. But I'm going to grab this SOP we got right here. I'm going to go ahead and click on it. And then I want to show you something inside of the SOP, right? Because I need to share it with everyone in order for the bot to see it. I have to click on the actual document. But then what I'm going to do is on the share here, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to hit share, and I'm going to make sure that down here for general access, I have anyone with the link. When I have anyone with the link, I'm going to copy that link. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to drop it right in here, and it's going to start extracting that data. It can extract as many documents as you want if you do it in this way. So you can preload quite a bit on a document for it to remember. And in talking to the developers, they did say that they're going to add more context window, meaning they are going to add an enormous amount of space that we're going to be allowed to use in here. So the bots are going to eventually just get smarter. So what we're going to do next is we're going to go over to the left-hand side and we're going to go back to our bots. Now, remember, I'm in the knowledge base area. I always want to make sure I go to settings. Inside of settings, I want to go over to our conversational AI, and we are going to now start building our first bot. Hey, we want to interrupt this video for a quick little minute to just let you know that I hope you're enjoying this video. We want to thank you for being here, but more importantly, we are hoping that this content helps you do whatever you're trying to do inside of HighLevel. We also want to let you know that you have options to get additional help. We offer a $197 a month VIP coaching program that includes 4 days of office hours, first come, first serve, with Andy or myself, where we go in and we answer any of your questions that you might have live with a group setting for other people that are also working in HighLevel. We also have a VIP group where we answer questions directly one-on-one with anybody posting in that group to give you the absolute best support. It also comes with a bunch of other features, including our funnel brick system, our little mini course, and more importantly, a couple guides that'll help you through this, and also including our SOP library that we use for pretty much everything inside of our agency. So thank you for this quick little minute, but more importantly, go back to the video, get whatever you need, and if you have any questions that we can answer inside the video, just drop a comment on the video and we'll make sure to answer whenever we get a chance. And now back to the show. So now, before we actually build our first bot, there's something I need to make sure you understand. There is the new way of creating a bot that is made to be very user-friendly. And then there is the advanced way of creating a bot, which is made more for the power users that want to control the prompt. I got to make sure that you understand what kind of level you're at and what kind of risk you want to take on. Now, I'm big on just using the prompt versus the new assisted way, but I'm going to go over the assisted way first. Then I'm going to go over the prompt way. The prompt way is going to give you a lot more freedom. You can do a lot more things with the bot. The adjusted way is good if you're like a brand new beginner and all you want the thing to do is book appointments or answer Q&A, and that's all you want it to do. You don't want to have this complex craziness of like the bot to qualify people or perhaps, sell for you or do all those different kind of things. You need to understand that there's two ways of building these bots, the easy way and the harder way. Easy way is very like cut and paste based on answers we're going to use our ChatGPT for. The harder way is going to be a prompt. Now, believe it or not, the custom GTP I'm going to give to you guys basically is going to do both. And you kind of choose which direction you go, but it's set to go in any direction you want. You'll just have more ability of customizing the bot with the harder way versus the easy way. So the way that you select, if you want to go the easy way, which is the way we're going to cover first, is you're just going to go over to the right-hand side and you're going to create this create bot. Now, if you want it the easy way, you're going to select the down arrow and you're going to have create prompt-based bot. So the guided form setup is going to be very limited and it's going to be built a little differently, meaning it's meant to be user-friendly where anybody can just make a bot based on the answers that you give. So if you're doing the guided form setup, this is going to limit the amount of things you can do with the bot. It's going to be very easy for you to set up and you can get your bot up and going in like literally 10 to 15 minutes. The prompt is actually pretty easy too because I'm giving you the prompt maker, but it's going to require a little bit more like, again, prompting and fixing and kind of modifying the prompt to be what you want it to be. So let's go the easy way first. We're going to create the guided form setup. And if you're going to make this an appointment bot, understand that its main focus is going to be making an appointment. It's a robot. It's going to make appointments and it's going to force appointments every chance it gets. Every conversation it's going to have, it's about making appointments. It's going to be very aggressive and making appointments. All right. I just want to make sure you understand that. Q&A bot's going to be a little bit more low key. It's just going to answer questions and maybe it might book an appointment. So for anybody beginning, don't confuse the bots. If you just want something that's going to book appointments when you're not there, do the appointment booking, which is what we're going to do today. If it's general Q&A, then make a general Q&A. The knowledge base, the answer, the questions as you kind of go through this is going to be all there. So it's going to make it super easy. Now, I'm going to teach you how to build both, but I just want to make sure I'm being very clear in this, that if you're putting appointment booking, this thing is super aggressive in making appointments, as you'll see when we go through, right? So we're going to do appointment booking and we're going to go ahead and continue. And when I build my bot out, we're going to do it where we're going to build it to make appointments. And I want to make sure you guys understand that. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to hit create new voice brand guide because you might not have it. Or even if you do, I suggest you either editing the one you have because I'm going to give you a prompt that's going to give you a little bit better answers. And what you're going to notice here is when you click on brand voice, you're going to have brand name, company website, company email, company address, phone number, business hours, and describe the tone of voice. These are all pretty self-explanatory, but we're going to fill it out anyway. So I'm going to come over here. The brand is Automated Marketer. Okay. Just give you an idea. The address is, we're going to pull the address from the site. Okay. Come in here, copy, and we're going to paste it right in here. Just take away the HTTPS. If you have a W in front of it, doesn't matter. Just put whatever the link is here. Company email. Ours is going to be team@automatedmarketer. Okay, .net. And we're going to have a company address. I'm not going to list my company address. Phone number, 1-800-555-1212. And then business hours, exactly what's here, which is Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Okay. And then a friendly voice is what I'm looking for more so than anything else. And here comes the bonus part is going to be the additional questions. Now, for a lot of people that are kind of new, these can be very confusing questions. So I want to make it easy for you guys. So what I did is I created a custom GTP that's going to help you do this. All right. The link will be below. Make sure you guys take advantage of it. Again, it's completely free. It doesn't cost you anything. You just need a ChatGTP account, which a lot of us have at this point. And if you don't, greatest investment you'll make, regardless if you like ChatGTP or not, it doesn't matter. You can use whatever AI you want to help you answer the questions. This one just makes it super easy because I'm going to show you what it can do. You click in here and it goes, I need help building a bot. And what it's going to do is it's going to go in there and it's going to say, awesome. It's going to tell you what it's going to do. And then what we're going to do is it says, do you want me to pull info from your website or a document first, or should I go question by question? So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to come to my website. Now, every now and again, I get an error in ChatGTP and only ChatGTP. I don't know why. It doesn't happen in Claude, Gemini, or any of the AIs that I use. Then I can't read the whole entire website. So old school, you guys ready for this? What you do is you come to your website, highlight all of it. All right, boom, 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 except the last part. Well, it doesn't matter. Copy it. And I'm going to say, sure, here is my website. One, it doesn't have the browser go in and search the site. And because ChatGPT is super freaking quick, if you give it all this like this, hit enter, it doesn't have to search or browse the internet. Here's the website. You know what I'm saying? And now what it'll do is it's going to read all this information. It's going to think for a little bit of a longer time. And by the way, for anybody that doesn't like ChatGPT 5, like I don't, I think it's really crappy. At least now it is. Hopefully they'll fix it. You can go to legacy models and pick your 4.0. So just understand that that's there. It makes things pretty easy. Thanks for sharing the site contact. Okay. And it does all of this. And where it shows all the things that are available and everything else. And again, because I copied and pasted, I made it super easy for the site. If you have a document, awesome. Grab the document, copy and paste the document, and just shove it in here or attach it. You're done. All right. Now it's going in here. It's going to grab all the information. Look at this. Awesome. Brand and posting for the homepage, all this stuff, which is great. It's just grabbing all the different information. And what it's doing is it's taking an inventory of all the things that are there that are super important for you to have and so forth and so on, right? So this is the content inventory. So you want to review it. So it captures everything that you want. Reply approved to lock it in and we reg. Okay. So I'm going to go approved. All right. And that means it literally has everything it needs. Cool. What is your brand name? Now it'll go through the entire questions. For the sake of time, because we're not going to go, it's about 8 questions altogether. You need to do this when you build this bot, because the more information you give it, the better the responses are going to be and the better your bot is going to act. Even if it's to answer the brand questions in the easy mode, the more you give it, the better the results. So if you're going to do this for yourself, for clients, I'm giving you an arsenal here. This is a massively cool tool that's going to make this super easy for you because the questions are super simple. And if you don't understand the questions, you can go back and forth with the bot to help it explain to you like a 4-year-old, which is like literally what I always do when I don't understand something. I tell the AI to say, please explain to me this like I'm a 4-year-old because I don't understand anything you're saying. And honestly, it'll come back and it'll give me that explanation. So I'm just going to answer one question, which is what is the name of the bot? I'm going to say Jessica, the Automated Marketer AI bot. Okay, please answer the rest of the questions based on the information you have. The goal, I am so sorry, I am so dyslexic. You guys know this by now. The goal of the bot is to book, in this case, 15-minute strategy call. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. And again, because I'm picking the easy path, I want this thing to book a 15-minute strategy call. And that is the main focus and goal of the bot. So again, you're going to see how aggressive this thing is. It's like, would you like to book an appointment? Would you like to book an appointment? But it does its job, and it does its job well. Now, guess what it does? It's going to print out all the questions. And for anybody that wants to take the advanced mode, it's going to give you both. So first thing it's going to do is literally answer all the questions for you. Some of them you already answered. So we're going to start, I think, at question 7. And then what it's going to do, though, is it's also going to create the prompt for later on when we do the advanced mode. Delete this bot. I'm going to do the advanced mode bot. It's going to go ahead and do what we need to do, right? So this is the Q&A sections. See, it's ready. Would you like to move forward to generate section 2, full 2,300 word chat bot prompt in the markdown, which is what you need to plug in. So it has it ready, but what we're going to do is we're going to start answering those questions. So I'm going to go back to the CRM and I'm going to start at question number 1, target audience. I'm going to go back to my chat GPT, right? And we're going to come over here and who is the target audience? Our audience is Doom, boom, boom, boom. And I'm going to copy this and I am going to drop it into the target audience. Then I'm going to go to question number 10. What are the pain points of the customer? So I'm going to copy this answer. Again, copy and paste, guys. I can't make it any easier. If you can't copy and paste, then might want to reconsider technology altogether. All right. Not being rude, but just seriously. Copy and paste. Question number 11, which is brand promise. All right. Then it's going to be, what is your brand values? And again, it picked this all up from the site. So if you don't have a well-written site, that's okay. Just answer the questions as you see fit, and it'll formulate a really good answer for you. All right. Automated marketer, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to come over here, copy. What does it stand for? Number 14, copy. I'm just going down and I'm doing all this. And again, I'm not taking a lot of time to reading it because I, again, want to do this quicker and I'm trying to go as fast as I can. I know you guys all complain I go too fast sometimes. So I'm trying to literally be in between there. Again, always open for feedback, but again, I will never change my speed. It is impossible. It is embedded in me, folks. All right. The primary CTA is 15-minute strategy call. All right. And what type of business are you in? Right here. Cool. And well, it doesn't give us a choice, but what we're going to do is just go put marketing agency for now. You can go ahead and put whatever you want, whether you're local, business, coaching, whatever, just drop that in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit save. Now, when I hit save, I have the brand voice that it created, which is right here. I have now picked this brand voice. All right, whatever I need to do. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit next. Now, in the bot settings, we're going to name the bot. Remember, we said Jessica, the automated marketer AI bot. And there is a mixed like kind of world out there where some people is like, oh, I don't know, want to know it's a bot. I always do. When customers find out that they are and are incredibly frustrated, just say it's an AI bot. Like everybody knows that AI is like taking over the universe. All right. So why not put it in here? Now, the next part of this explanation, I'm going to slow down a bit because I want you to explain just what's happening here, right? There was a whole bunch of channels selected. And now let me tell you how this works. Inside your HighLevel account, you can have unlimited AI bots, both in voice and in chat. In voice, it's every number can only have one bot assigned. In chat, you can have multitude of bots that do different things, but there is a primary bot for the account, and then there are secondary bots. You can only have one primary. The primary bot will answer the channel that you select every time. So if you have automations that are firing, let's say on Instagram, when somebody leaves a comment and you put Instagram as the channel that it's got to respond to, it will override whatever's going on in that automation and automatically come in here. I use live chat only for the primary bot. The reason being is I'm going to put a live chat on all my web pages for the ones that I want at least in, and I want the bot responding there all the time. So in order for it to do that, I'm going to put live chat. Now, if I add any secondary channels, I'm only going to add channels that I don't have automations running on. So for instance, I don't do anything with Facebook Business Manager, meaning when people leave me messages on my Facebook business page. So I will turn on this bot for Facebook Messenger. But if I'm in there and I'm answering questions and I'm interacting, I don't want the bot in there. So you have to make a decision on which channel you want to have a primary. If you don't want any primary bot, don't make it a primary. And then the other bots that are not primary have to be activated. And I'm going to show you how to do that too. And I'll show you that in the later kind of part of it, but I want to make sure you understand the difference. In the situation of having a 24-hour chatbot live on your site, you have to activate this as the primary bot. So I'm going to go to my preferred channel. and I'm going to do live chat. And in here, I would make this the primary bot because I want it to answer every live chat that comes through. I don't want to have a person there because I don't have that person. And I want to make sure that the bot is handling every live chat that's coming through the website. So I want to make sure we're clear. Later on, I'll show you how to activate secondary bots, but this is the most important part here. Now, I would click on this to make it the primary. I already have a primary bot that I don't want to mess with, but you would mark it as primary. And then this will be the bot that's answering all of your live chats. Now, in the case of what I said before, in Facebook Messenger, and again, not true in this case, but in Facebook Messenger, if I never pay attention to it and I want the bot like kind of shifting through it and doing whatever it is, and I'm not actively going in there at all, then I would put the Facebook Messenger on. And then the AI will take over any incoming conversations with anybody interacting with Facebook Messenger. All right, but in this case, we're going to leave it off and it's going to be live chat, and that's it. Now, the initial bot message is going to be the greeting that we want the bot to have. So I'm going to put, hey, this is Jessica, the automated marketer AI bot. How can I help you? Okay. And it'll be like, how can I help you book your free 15-minute strategy session? Cool, right? And then 2 seconds before responding, because we always want to make sure people finish their thought. Anything 1 second will cut people off, and 3 seconds is a little bit too much. 2, believe it or not, is the exact perfect number, right? So all these are set. I'm going to hit next, and it's going to ask me what information do I want to collect. I always want to collect name, email, and phone for a multitude of reasons. One is if you're engaging with the bot and somebody's not leaving their information, they're probably not going to be the greatest lead in the world. If you're trying to close on booking appointments and you're not asking these questions, you can go ahead and just remember that. Now, the other thing that's important is adding objectives and questions in here that you feel you need to ask or you wanted to give it to the bot. So for instance, I could say, answer the customer's questions and then ask for the appointment. It's going to possibly ignore that because the appointment bot is very, very aggressive. So just understand that, okay? And by the way, if it was a question I wanted to capture, I would come in here, I would select a custom value or a field that you would create, custom field, not value, custom field that you would create in custom field area if I wanted a question captured. But this is more of a objective, meaning a rule that I kind of want to set for the bot. And then I'm going to go in here. And I also want to put skip if I already have their name, their email, and their phone number. I don't want to ask them again. Now, while we're testing, it's always going to ask that because we're in testing mode and it's going to follow its primary directive. So just keep that in mind. And we're also going to allow the bot to cancel the appointment, the bot to reschedule, and I'm going to pick the 15-minute strategy call because that's the calendar I want them to book on. Now, receive an email notification if the bot doesn't know the answer. I'm always going to turn that on, and I'm going to select myself, or let's say if I have an admin that's running the account, that's going to get these messages when the bot like freaks out or doesn't know what the answer is going to be and doing it in there. Or I can send it to a custom email like my personal email if I'm not in the account, if I want to account for that, right? So technically, this is all good. If you wanted to add street address, city, or any other questions, remember, you're adding it here, and then you're updating a contact field. So in settings, when you're in settings, you're going to go to contact fields and add whatever contact fields you need that you want to collect the information on. With that being said, I'm going to hit save. Now I'm going to show you how aggressive this thing is. Now, here is the most important thing that you want to kind of observe. And then I'm going to go to advanced settings because I want you to see the entire settings. If you put this thing on autopilot, this thing is ready to go. If you leave it off, this thing will not turn on. It will not engage. Nothing will happen. And if it's suggestive, it will give in the conversation window, it would just give the answer, but it's not going to go to the client. It needs you to approve the answer before it goes out. In the live chat, you're always going to put autopilot and you're going to let it roll. Now here also, before I do any of this, I'm going to hit save and close, and then I'm going to go back into the bot. When I go back into the bot, notice I have a lot more up here that I want to cover with you. First is the bot training. This is where you got to try and test the bot and ensure that the right knowledge base is in here. And if you remember, we created Automated Marketer 2, and that's the one we want to go out of. And based on that, I'm going to hit save because it did not have the knowledge base selected, even though I believe I selected in the previous one. You always want to go back and check. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to say, hey there. Now watch, it's going to ask my name, email, and phone number because that's its directive. And I'm going to say, hey, this is Jessica. How can I help you book your fifth? So the message is perfect. All right. Now I'm going to say Nuno. Now it's going to ask me for my email. All right. Email Nuno1895 or just like Nuno test. Okay. And then what's your phone number? 1-800-555-1212. Great. And watch, it's immediately going, how can I book your appointment today? Hey, Now that I have all the details, automated marketers, emotions, agency coaches, all these other things, are you ready to book your 15-minute appointment? Okay. So this thing is working beautifully, just as intended, and we're ready to go. All right. And again, we have the brand voice, we have the bot goals, which we can change at any point in time and add to. And then we also have the additional instructions, which is conversation guidelines and everything else. Honestly, if you're using the self-directed, this is not something you need to worry about because everything's kind of being done prior to that, but you do have the bot initial message. And again, the intent of the bot based on either Q&A or booking, right? And then later on, you're also going to have a dashboard so you can track all the different calls and things coming in to make your job a whole easier. Really good for beginners. But now let me take you to the advanced AI settings. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back out to here. We're going to go to conversational AI. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually delete Jessica and I'm going to hit delete. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm now going to create the advanced bot, which is I'm going to come back over here, select the little down arrow, create prompt based bot. All right. And again, now I have a little bit more wider selection. I have general Q&A. I can start from scratch and build one on my own. I could do appointment booking, marketplace templates. Believe it or not, this is only for agency owners that will see this, but you can actually have pre-built templates that people have created inside of GoHighLevel that you can actually come in here and you can download them and they're yours. But for this particular case, we're now going to do a Q&A bot to give you a different flavor and how to do this. And I'm going to hit continue. And because we have a custom GTP that we've already done, we're going to modify the one that we have already done to be a Q&A bot versus an appointment bot, and then guide and fix the prompt, because now we're going to have to play around with the prompt a little bit because now we're going deeper into the setup. So it's going to kind of involve us fixing the right wording on the prompt in order to make this work. So far, all kind of looks very similar, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to rename the bot like we did before. So this is going to be Jessica, the automated marketer AI bot. All right, Autopilot, if I want this to be on all the time, which again, in live chat you won't because I already have a live chat bot here. I am not going to put that on right now. I'm going to eliminate all the Instagram, the Facebook, the chat widget, because again, I'll be building it like I was before, live chat. And then if you go down, you're going to notice advanced settings, which are going to be your business name. We already know it's going to be automated marketer. And just to be clear, this is my preferred method now of doing this. Wait time before responding, we're going to leave at 2 seconds. And the maximum response, I always go to the max, which is, I believe, 20. And then send bot to sleep if I send a message directly or through a workflow. This is going to be true just in case I got to take over the conversation. And I send the bot to sleep. We're going to give it 3 hours just in case the customer needs to come back, goes and does something, and go from there. Now, for anybody that is understanding the charges, so you kind of understand what the pricing plan is in here, there are charges when it comes to using voice and chat AI. There are bot charges, and then there are usage charges. Usage charges are your text messaging and your voice that are used with the bot when they're answering either in a text message or in a voice or in any other response. You are paying usage charges you would normally be charged if you were using text message or you were calling somebody inside of here. Those are voice and text messaging charges, and those are per call, per message, or whatever it is. And I think it's per minute per call, and it's also per text message when you pay those. Those are pay as you go. There's not a normal fee. Now, there is a pay as you go plan when it comes to bot charges. So for instance, voice AI is 13 cents a minute. Chat AI is somewhere in between there. I don't know what the numbers are, but you can look it up. Or your agency will have those numbers. You just got to ask. Then there's also the unlimited $97 or $127, whatever you're paying, depending on the agency that you're with. That is the charges that HighLevel charges the agency that then in turn the agency needs to charge you. That unlimited plan covers the bot charges. So if your current plan is per response, this is what you're paying in chat, which is 2 cents. This might vary depending on the agency that you're with, but understand that there was going to be a per response bot charge on top of the usage charges, which is going to be text message, which is the way it's going to go back and forth. Understand 2 different charges. You have the pay as you go plan in the bots or the unlimited plan, which is 1 monthly fee. Depending on the usage, I usually go with the unlimited. It's better off to do that. But again, if I'm having like 3 conversations a month, keep it on the pay as you go plan. If not, do the unlimited plan. Either way, understand 2 different charges and you can pick which ones you want in here and then go to either or plan. All right. That's number 1. The other thing is, we talked about it before. You have the other charges, which again, you're going to understand. And like you understand that it's 2 different charges, the usage charges and the bot charges. But I need to make sure you understand that because people are like, what's all this money coming from? That's what you're being charged for. And as before, if this is going to be a live chat, I need to set it as the primary because I need to always answer 24/7 in the primary bot, or else I'm going to have to activate the bot, which I'll show you later. Now, I set it as the primary bot. It's on. It's going to answer all the questions. This is on autopilot. I'm good to go. Bot training works the same exact thing. Let me just go ahead and save. All right. Bot training, it's going to select the knowledge base. So you're going to select the knowledge base you want to use. It brings it all in. You can test your bot. We'll do it later. And then we're going to do bot goals. Now, this is where the difference is. When you come to bot goals, you're going to notice that there's 3 different sections: personality, intent, additional information. When you do this, you're going to have to go in and you're going to get the prompt that we previously wrote. But guess what we did? Remember section 2? Section 2. Yes, continue. All right. So now what it's going to do is it's going to create the prompt that we're going to leverage inside of that prompt area. Now, again, it's going to give everything that we need. All right. And I'm going to tell you exactly where you're going to put it. So the first thing is personality and then intent. So you come in here and notice you can add custom values in here. This is like make believe you want to create an account custom value that all your bots are going to be the same and you want to pull that name in. You can use any custom values that you set. These are all the different values you can come in. So super easy to do. I'll show you how to you can change the greeting to even include the customer name. If you watch the Voice AI video, you can do the same thing there. But the first is personality. Okay. And what we're going to do is the bot identity and this whole entire part, the information. All right. So I'm going to copy this first part. Okay. Paste it in here. Oh, actually, we wanted to change. Your primary goal is to do Q&A. And if the customer wants to book an appointment, please ensure that they understand that for coaching, it's $4.97 an hour. Please update the prompt. Okay. Just because I want to kind of update the prompt a little bit in here, and we're going to go from there. Awesome. And we're going to grab the bot identity again. So we're going to copy from the first part right here, all the way here, copy all the way to the greeting. Sorry, people. Let's actually go from here. So what we're going to do is from the top part all the way to here, copy, go back over here, Control A, Control V. And he says, most people who visit are either, your goal is to assist customers with their inquiry. And I'm just going to actually steal this one part. I went a little too far. This whole customer, most people who are going to visit right in here. Let's cut that out and let's put it in the intent right after the customer inquiry. And then the additional information is literally the rest of the prompt. So I'm going to crop all this, go all the way down and go back into here. Boom, paste. Now, how cool is that? You have the whole thing pretty much done. Did I put it in the wrong space? I put it in the wrong space. So Control Z, let's try that again. It goes in the additional information. All right. I'm going to get rid of the end of bot prompt. We don't need that. And we know the squiggly lines and we're good to go. Now, here's where the customization comes into contact, which you don't have before. Notice that you now have all these different choices in here that you can customize. So for instance, if I wanted them to, let's say they asked for all my course listings and I wanted to send, let's say, a text message that has all of them listed, I can go ahead and do that. If I wanted to trigger a workflow that will put them on a pipeline, I can do that. If I wanted to add additional content info, I can do that. If I want to do an automatic follow-up, if they were done, I can go ahead and do that. So for instance, if I wanted to let them book on that 15-minute strategy call, I could go ahead and do that. I'll put it the allow and bot. So now my Q&A bot can also book appointments and I can go ahead and hit save. Now it will book appointments for anybody that's interested in booking an appointment based on the rules that I gave it based on the prompt. The other thing that I can do is if I wanted to transfer this to, let's say, a sales bot to sell an appointment or to sell a product, I can create another bot that is a secondary bot, not a live, remember, not a primary, that its main function is to sell products. I can now create a bot that only sells products. Again, it will have to be customized. And then I can transfer to that bot at any given time that I wanted to. So anything that I can do, I can go ahead and set up default transfers as we see fit. But let me show you how to build one of these so you understand. So I already have workflow trigger that will work when somebody asks about our courses, and it's going to send them that information. And I have one where if somebody asks for done for you work, it's going to automatically send them a text message. So I'm going to trigger those workflows. Now, the way the triggers work is it's going to be listening to the entire conversation. And when it feels that when the trigger workflow, when this condition is true, it's going to automatically fire this workflow. So the trigger workflow name, we're going to call it done for you services for anybody that's interested. Oh, services. Sorry about that. I still spelled it wrong. Amazing. And the trigger workflow that I have one that I built, AI, and I'm going to show you how I built it. Done for you services. I'm going to trigger it over there. When the trigger the workflow, you have to be a couple of options. When someone wants someone to do the work for them, or, and always use or, expresses interest in done for you options rather, or again, I just keep adding or rather someone do it all for them. This will then in turn trigger the bot. Now, when I hit save, this is done and the bot will trigger that workflow when somebody mentions done for you work if we did this the right way. Now, we can say human transfer or human handover, human requested, enable this scenario, and it's already got it. I want to talk to a manager. I want to talk to a human, select the user. Nuno, right? That's me. Skip if the contact has assigned user. And sure, I'm transferring a human agent now. Reactivate bot after 8 hours. Create a task for add a custom tag of human handover. Super easy. Lack of information, failure resolve. If you want to turn all these on, go ahead and do so. Now what you're doing is you're creating a basic human handoff if somebody goes, I want to speak to a manager. And it will automatically fire like messages, internal notifications, all of it. Now, add contact info if I want to collect another field that is not currently being collected. Name, email, phone number, or maybe I want to collect address. I would just go ahead and select address, select the business field that I want the person to fill out, like street address, city, state, or whatever it is. And then we have it moved over. And then we have what field to update, whatever field we want. And auto follow-up is contact stop replying. When do I want to follow up? 15 minutes, let AI send a message, or we want to trigger a workflow. And I can add an additional workflow like 30 minutes, a day, whatever it is, or contact requested, whatever. So all of these are pre-made, which is awesome. And you can enable these scenarios. This is why I like the customization so much better in the free-flowing bot. I know it's a little bit more advanced, but man, it is really, really solid. And you can build a pretty powerful bot doing this. So I think I got what I need. The only thing I want to show you is how to create a trigger for this. So for instance, when I wanted to send that information, when somebody says, I want to know about your done for you services, let me show you how I created an automation. And these are the simplest automations you're going to do. I save my bot. Make sure you save your bot, especially if you're working on it. I go back. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to automations. I've personally created a folder. So you create a folder up here. And then I created my folder and I just named it AI triggers off of live chat, right? And then in here, transfer to architect spot, or I could say, transfer an automation. That's a little complex. Let me make it even easier for you. So what you could do is when somebody expresses that interest, right? Let me go to that one specifically, which I think is done for you services. It is literally no starting action because I don't need it because the bot is going to push it right into this area. I add a tag that they're interested in done for you services, see interest done for you. And then the SMS is going to be, hey, here's a system company called Architects. Please click on the link and book an appointment. We'll see you there. That's it. So when somebody says that, I'm going to get a text message on my phone that is going to automatically leave into them, right? So I'm going to back out of the workflows, back over, hit settings, conversational AI, go back to Jessica, and we're going to train the bot and we're going to mess around with the bot and see what happens. I'm going to say, hey there, and let's see how the bot responds. How can I help you today? See, no mention of AI. All right. But your first 15-minute call is the perfect way to see a fit. How can I help you today? Do you offer done for you services? Okay. Let's see. It should respond, hey, I'm going to send you a text message based on that. We offer done for you services our team handles. Want to chat about your needs? Sure. And by the way, this is in test mode. So you might have to chase this real time. So you might have to engage with the live chat, which is going to be the next thing we have to do is we actually have to set up the live chat bot that you can put on a page. So sure. And it's going to ask me a bunch of questions, but lo and behold, everything else. Just like before, you have to play around with the bot to ensure you're getting everything that you need. So has these directions are not good, you come in here and goes, no, that's not what I want you to say. Go in and send them to whatever else. And it's selected to the knowledge base as a Q&A. Now, if I come in here under the bot goals, we'll have a different interaction in here, but just understand that you constantly want to mess around with the bot. If you feel like the bot's not doing what it needs to do, go back into your AI, give it the scenario of what's not working and let it modify the whole entire prompt, copy and paste the prompt and put it back in here to, again, fix anything that you feel the bot is not doing correctly. And you will have to do this back and forth quite a few times in order for this to work. All right. So that's how you build these basic bots and the advanced bot. Now let's go in and create our live chat widget so we can put on the actual website that is attached to this bot. So in order to do that, we're going to hit the go back button. We're going to go to sites. Inside of sites, we are going to go to our chat widget. And what we're going to do is we're going to create new. We're going to do a live chat because that's the one we picked. And there's other ones you can do and everything else. Now, it's important for you to understand how this works. We're going to do this. This is live chat bot test 2. Okay, test live chat bot. That's fine. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to styles. This is the first thing you do, how you want the chat prompt to appear. It shows you on the bottom right. The icons, the things that you want to do, all that can be switched in here. We can change it into different colors. Now, welcome message. Hey there, have a question, text us here. Enable custom greeting. Hey, welcome back. How can I help you? That's perfectly fine. And it already comes with a custom value and name, so then it remembers the individual. Now, the widget customization is where, oh, by the way, you can replace the little face. So if you have a face of yours or, somebody who represents a company, you can put them in there. And then you can select where the bot is going to appear on the page. Middle of the page we found works pretty good. And people are now used to the bottom. So just don't go too far off of that. I've never seen anything work on the left, but I could be wrong on that. You can prove me wrong as you do it. Now, all this is set. Awesome. I'm going to go to the chat window. This is important. Have a question, enter a question below, the things you want to collect, name and phone number. I can also add email and then the button send. So then it sends it to the message to engage the live chat widget. Now, when it sends, the live chat is assigned. You want to make sure you have show live chat welcome message. Give us a minute to find your person. Time delay for an inactive user is going to be 5 minutes, which I think is pretty fair. Looks like one is available. Please leave your contact details. We'll get back to you shortly. If the live chatbot is closed, you can put closed due to user inactivity or whatever else. And you can also set up business hours, but in this case, we're not because this is going to be 24 hours. And then the additional options, if you want to have the powered by, which is this thing at the bottom, and if you have HIPAA and everything else that you need to have checked, you can put that all in there. Again, completely up to you as you see it. Now, the messaging, it tells you acknowledge when the chat has ended, rating your expense if you want feedback, all this stuff you can have in here. And you also want to set the language based on whatever you have. And that's pretty much it. If you have a site outside of HighLevel, what you can do is you can get the code, give this code to your, web person, and they're going to copy and paste this and put it in your WordPress site in a code block for this to work. Or for everybody who's a little bit more advanced and knows Google Tag Manager, you can actually add this as a script inside Google Tag Manager, and then it goes on all your pages, and it's pretty freaking cool when you do that. Now, if you are the owner of and actually just one thing we got to do here. Now, because I already have mine assigned, remember, you can only have one bot assigned to live chat. Mine's already here, so I don't want to mess around with it too much. But if you go to the right-hand side, and anytime you edit, just understand that whatever you set as your primary bot, that's the one that's going to be activated for that particular live chat. You can't have multiple live chat in one account, which makes sense because this is going to be 24 hours and you only want to have one bot assigned. Now, what's cool about it, if you host it inside of your HighLevel account, right? If I go to websites and let's just go right here, it doesn't matter which one it is. I'll go to any page, but if I go to settings and I go chat widget, I can pick the test live chat widget. And now that's the chat widget that is assigned to that particular thing. I hit save and it's ready to rock and roll. So again, you have it assigned. The second you assigned your bot as the primary bot for your live chat, this thing is ready to rock and roll, right? But what about if I have like a workflow and I want the bot to take over? Let's talk about that. So I'm going to build a little bit of a complex automation. Hopefully you understand that. I'm going to try to slow it down for you to understand. But this is the other thing you can do with the secondary bots. So now let's make believe I wanted to create a bot that is just going to answer Instagram messages that come off of me posting something and them replying back. And I want to just create an Instagram bot that's going to go back and forth. What I can do is I can come over here and I could say, okay, now create me an Instagram version of this that will respond to a post where I asked people to respond with the word sale for people that were interested in my Udemy course. The goal is we are going to send them coupon code, and we are also going to incite them to get an even better course for 20% off called VIP. All right, I don't have that, but just kind of go so you guys can understand it. All right, so now it will modify the prompt to do exactly that. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what we're going to do, and we're going to build that out, and we're going to kind of play around with it, and we're going to build it. So what I'm going to do is we're going to create like an AI one, right? So I'm going to go back to my automations, and I'm going to create an advanced one, right? We are going to create an AI automation that has all these already, so you guys don't have to figure this out. That snapshot will be for sale, but I'm going to kind of show you a sneak peek of how to do it. So we're going to create a workflow. Obviously, again, you're going to put this inside whatever. Actually, you know what? We're going to be even easier. I'm going to show you how to kind of cheat a little bit. We're going to create a workflow, but we're going to do it from a template. The template is going to be Instagram. All these are listed here. Need nurture, a workflow AI. We don't need any of that. We're going to do an Instagram message. All right, which hopefully it's here. Let's type Instagram. There it is. Instagram comment automations. This is exactly the one we want. We're going to hit continue, and it's going to automatically create that template for me. In here, when somebody comments on, let's say I have a page connected, I'm going to add a filter of a post, and then I'm going to add another filter of a word like sale. And then when they do that, I'm going to respond to their comments. Hey, check your DM. Thanks for showing interest. Please check your DM. I'm going to add another one like, awesome, check your DMs. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have one interactive message that's going to go, hey, I'm excited to start your professional journey. They're going to click on some website to get the coupon and everything else. When they do, and they want to get the checklist, instead of doing the interactive message, I'm going to teach you a trick. And then what we're going to do is we're going to respond with an Instagram DM. Okay. We're going to have that same message in here. Then what we're going to do is we're going to do conversational AI. This is a little bit advanced, guys. I hope I'm not losing you. Just follow along. Trust me, this works. It's pretty badass. Conversational AI. I'm going to repeat the same question. I'm going to put skip if answered. The timeout is going to be 1 hour. The channel is going to be only Instagram. And what I'm going to do is the bot responses, we're going to move to 15. And then the wait time is going to be like 3 seconds. That's how, back and forth to go back. The timeout is if they don't respond to this message, it's going to have a timeout area. But what I'm going to do is we're going to add a branch that says positive response. Okay. And here is the customer responded positively to the offer. All right. And what it's going to do is it's going to create these branches. Now, what I want to do in here is I'm going to save this for a second. I'm going to open up another tab. So I'm going to duplicate this tab. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a bot that's just going to work on trying to sell them the other appointment. I'm going to go back to our conversational AI. And then in here, all of a sudden the buy training and the bot goals, I'm now going to modify this and I'm going to go back over here and I'm going to say the bot will only engage once the customer already received the coupon and has expressed interest in the VIP program. Your job is to sell them on the VIP program. Okay, just to give you an idea, because we want to rewrite that prompt to be more about like, let it sell, right? Now, while it's writing, what we're going to do is we're going to set up another bot that's only going to have that function. And this is going to be a secondary bot that will only be activated through that workflow. So I'm going to go ahead and create another prompt-based bot. This is going to be start from scratch. I'm going to hit continue. This is going to be Jessica, the Instagram AI bot. All right. And it's only going to be for Instagram. And I'm only going to activate it when it gets talked to inside that workflow. Again, this is why you can make as many of these secondary bots as you want that will only activate when you tell it to activate. I'm going to show you how. You're going to hit save. All right. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go over to, again, you got to fill out this entire part, automated marketer. Okay. Wait 2 seconds before responding. Max messages. Let's move it over to 20. And then send the bot to sleep manual or through a workflow. We're going to leave that kind of off because I'm never going to go on Instagram and answer any of these things. So in my case, this thing will always be on. I'm going to hit save. All right. I'm going to go to bot training. And right in here, we're going to have the same knowledge base, right? If I don't want the knowledge base, that's cool too, because it only work off the prompt. So you don't have to always have a knowledge base for your understanding. And then here in the prompt, I'm going to have a special prompt. All right. Initial pitch. Awesome. We're going to go in here. So personality is going to be very similar to Jessica. And we're going to, by the way, we'll fix this so then it's a little bit easier for you to copy and paste so you know which sections. I'll go back in and fix that prompt a little bit just to make it sharper for you. So by the time you get this back, it'll be personality, intent, and whatever else. So then you guys understand exactly how it has to be always formatted. And then what we're going to do is we're going to actually take the first part of this one on Jessica because it omitted. This is going to be the identity. You are Jessica, the AI bot who sells our VIP program. And guys, I'm trying to fly through this, but obviously you're going to do a little bit more in here because remember, we're using the advanced and this is an advanced setup, but I want to make sure that you see it. And we're going to go ahead and do the intent. Intent is the goal is to sell customers on our VIP program. Okay. And then the goals, we're just going to copy the rest of the ChatGPT problem. Again, I'll make this super easy for you guys. So there won't be any confusion. Those will be easier for you. My goal is just to make it easy for you. I hope you guys get some value out of this. And I'm going to say the trigger is the customer already has it. Value, urgency, check out here, the VIP link, boom. And you would replace it with the actual VIP link. And then that's it. And we're going to hit save. So now that I have this bot trained, obviously you would do a little bit more, get the real link, maybe even create some triggers based off on that. Completely up to you what you want to do with this. Maybe you want to activate the booking bot so it starts booking. You can do whatever you want. The point is you can understand that you can have bots doing different things and have them activated on the secondary bots, right? So I'm going to go back to that automation, using a little time clock here, go back to that recipe we made, right? And in here on the positive response, all I'm going to do is, now that I made that bot, update, and then it's going to be update conversation AI bot and status. I'm going to now activate the Instagram bot, and now it officially takes over the conversation, and it'll go back and forth for as long as it needs to until it does the goal, which is now give them the link to buy the VIP program. How cool is that, right? And you can create as many of these. Maybe here I wanted the bot to take over. If they were interested in our VIP program, they book an appointment. So I would just make the bot to book an appointment, set up the calendar in there, and its main goal will then be to book an appointment with a customer. So you can build as many of these things as you want to be very responsive. Let's say a certain text message program you rolled out, maybe a WhatsApp program that you rolled out, an Instagram message, a Facebook message based on a keyword that somebody sends to you in a DM. There's a lot of really cool things you can do, and now have a little army of bots that can do these little activities and only be activated with a very specific goal and task when they have it. And what's really cool is inside the bot, you can actually transfer from one bot to the other bot by hitting that transfer bot and giving it a reason why to transfer, right? So you have this saved. I'm going to go back, and you're going to see it in here that in the same settings, conversation AI, and come in here, bot goals, and I can transfer. Let's make believe now the customer is interested in booking coaching. I could say if at any point in time the customer is interested in coaching, transfer to the coaching booking bot to qualify the customer. You see how you can kind of like edge these out and make all these use cases? So have some fun with this. I hope this is pretty informative. I hope you enjoyed our free gift of creating the bot. Like I said, you have my word that I'm going to make that a little bit easier. So the personality, intent, and so forth is all there. But altogether, you'll have this as an ammunition. You know how to create really easy bots to advanced bots and create all these crazy automations. So hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next one.